Hey guys, Tamara here. Welcome to Book Chat Live and thanks for joining. Today I have author Roselynn Cannes, and she is the author of Fallen, which is the first book in the Fallen series published October last year. Before we move on, oh, oops, 1 second. Oh, I hear myself talking. Ooh, mess up. Before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button because every Sunday through the month of July, we'll be doing these interviews featuring all Rust City authors. So you don't want to miss it. So be sure to subscribe and hit the like and share with your bookish friends. I would appreciate that so much. Without further ado, welcome. Hi, Roselynn. Thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. How are you?
Hi, Tamara. Thanks so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. And I have to say one thing real quick. It's Roselynn Cannes, pronounced like the can. Or as I tell my
Can.
friend, can you say my name right? Can you say my name right?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I apologize.
No problem. Everybody says it right until they see it written. And then all of a sudden, it changes everything.
Mm. Well, I'm glad that you're here. So let's just jump right on in, shall we?
Sounds great to me. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, so hey, I know you're coming to Rust City 2016. Are you from Michigan? Are you familiar with the area?
I am not from Michigan. I'm a Denver native, born and raised, and I'm really excited to pass through Chicago. We're going to road trip out there, go straight into Troy. And I met Jackie at Reading Until Dawn Con last October, and she was fantastic. I'm so excited to be attending her con.
Oh, that's awesome. I think you'll like it here. There's lots going on. There's lots to do in the area. And if you're all about checking out downtown Detroit, it's only 20 minutes away and it's tons to do. So you won't be bored.
That sounds fantastic. It's right up my alley.
Awesome. Okay, so let's jump right in before we start talking about your book, that reminds me, the other day, I had mentioned that someone left a comment on my last video about your pantslessness. Okay, do you want to share with everyone what that comment was about? Because I'm sure, just as I didn't know anything about it, I'm sure there's others that would love to know what that comment meant.
Yeah, I get that a lot. What's the deal with the pants? um, and other than the fact that they're just the worst, and I hate wearing pants. I'm actually not wearing pants right now, for those of you that are wondering. For Reading Until DawnCon last October, we did a video challenge for a free hotel room for participants or attendees of the conference. And I did a video. There's actually a YouTube link for it. We can link it here if you'd like. But it's me saying that I'm most excited about the Reading Until Dawn Con Pants Off, Dance Off. And I ripped off my pair of tearaway pants and danced to my own beatboxing. It was pretty phenomenal.
That's awesome. Very daring.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and so it was just supposed to be this goofy thing that turned into sort of a brand for me, and I guess it could be worse.
Hey, you know what? Actually, I walk around pantsless myself a lot now that I think about it. Like after you said you were pantsless, I'm not now, but usually when I record my videos, I am.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm actually wearing the same Spanx shorts that I wore in the video and my Rainbow Dash knee-high socks. I'm really looking pretty sweet at home today.
Fancy. Okay. Okay, so Fallen, it came out last year and it is your first book, right?
It is my first book, yes.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the genres that are melded together for this title.
Yeah, I almost exclusively genre bend when I write. I kind of like to be a rule breaker, I guess you could say. And so Fallen is more literary fiction than it is anything else, but it also combines elements of fantasy as well as historical or alt history. And so it's very ancient Greco-Roman influenced. It's not retellings of any of those stories, but if you know your Greco-Roman culture, mythology, history, there's a lot of references in there for readers.
Mhm.
Um, so
So is it young adult or adult
Oh,
or?
it's definitely adult.
Oh,
It's
really?
definitely
Okay.
adult. Yeah, there's very mature content that really throughout the whole book. There's very mature themes, but yeah, no, definitely. I know adults that probably shouldn't read it.
Oh no. Okay, so does that mean it's like borderline erotica, or should we expect some scenes like that, or?
It's there are some naughty bits.
Mhm.
There's some naughty bits. The point is not the naughty bits. It's really about what's happening with the characters during those moments. And so it's one of those things where I didn't shy away from including sex or descriptions of sex, but the point is actually not the sex itself, but what's happening for those characters in the moment.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
in this case, a lot of what's happening for them in the moment is using um, sex as a tool.
Mm,
It's a means of bartering or control and manipulation.
so it sounds like you have some complex characters going on there.
I like to think so.
Hmm.
I've been told. Let's see. I've been told that they're devious. They've been described as devious, and I think that that's very apt.
Oh, wow. So what do you like most about your characters in your novel?
um, for me, the thing that I like most about them is that they're very dynamic. That they all have really good qualities, but they all have really bad qualities too. And so, in that sense, they're very human. And um, their beliefs and the way that they view the world absolutely influences how they interact with each other and the choices that they're making throughout the story.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. Well, I always love a good dynamic character. The more dynamic, the better. There's nothing I hate more than zero character development. So I'm glad to hear that that is excellent. I look forward to reading it actually.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So what's coming next for Fallen? I know it's a series. How many more books shall we expect out of that?
So, Fallen is a three-part series. The second book is Destroyed. I'm actually working on that currently, and it will be out in October of this year. I'm very excited about that. And then the final book in the series is Risen, and that'll be out October of next year, as long as I'm able to maintain all of my deadlines.
Okay. Oh, that's exciting. Trilogies are hot right now, so that's good.
Right?
Yeah, I don't really, I barely read standalones anymore. I'm always reading either trilogy or series. I don't know, something about maybe it's just the trend right now, but I love a good series. I just can't get enough. I always want to devour more and more and more.
I think that that's what's exciting about a series is that when you have really solid characters and you have a really solid storyline, it's hard to condense that all into one book. Sometimes you really need the time and the space to tell the full story the way that it's supposed to be told.
Mhm.
I think that that's what happened with Fallen. I have people tell me that it ended on a cliffhanger, which is funny because I don't think it ended on a cliffhanger. That part of the story is over. And I think that there's a lot of questions about, well, where are we going to go next? And there are a lot of different directions that it could go. But that part of the story for me is very resolved and it's over. And so the next book is really about the next part of the story.
Mhm. So it sounds like you have a lot of world building going on in your series. So did you have a lot of challenges in regards to research about, those different themes that you have going on?
Oh my gosh. I was so excited when I graduated. I was like, I'm never doing research again. This is the best. I do such stupid amounts of research when I write that it's a little out of hand. And so some of it is stuff that I was always really obsessed with ancient Greco-Roman mythology and history, that sort of thing. So some of it is stuff that I knew, but when I'm looking for specific things, like down to character names, there's not a single character name that I didn't apply for a really specific reason. And so, even just introducing a new character gets really complicated because all of a sudden I have to go and find the name that fits the character. If there's one thing that people can count on, it's that I take words really seriously. And so when I, call something destroyed, I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking around with it. Like I'm quite literally about to destroy something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's good. That's cool. Let's see. Okay, so what else do you want us to know about Fallen? Tell us why we need to read Fallen.
Because it's awesome, obviously.
Obviously.
Obviously. No, the thing that so I don't know if this will convince you to read it or not read it, but the thing that I try to be really clear about with Fallen is that it's not romance. I happen to be friends with a lot of romance writers, and so we get a lot of the same readers, just by promoting each other's stuff, knowing each other. And a lot of people get into reading Fallen and they want to read it as a romance, and it was not ever intended to be a romance. And there are some real issues with reading it as a romance. First and foremost, that by the end of the series, if you're trying to read it that way, you're going to be disappointed as a reader. The bigger issue is that the relationship between these two characters is outright abusive, and so to think of it as romance is really problematic. And that was one of the things that I was actually responding to in writing Fallen. Was I'd seen this sort of mainstreaming of this idea of romanticizing the captured princess. We see these archetypes and we see these tropes that come up over and over again in storytelling. And I'm really interested in cultural narrative, the relationship between cultures and the stories that we tell within a culture. And so to see this over and over again be romanticized, I really started to wonder, why is this a thing, and why are we romanticizing something that's really not romantic? This isn't a situation that is going to, in the grand scheme of things, for most situations, going to have a positive outcome. And so when I wrote Fallen, it was really sort of a reaction to that, de-romanticizing of this idea of the captured princess.
I think that is what I like about what you're saying, is because I really cannot stand, and I'll think of one book, I don't think I want to say right now, but everyone knows that book, where it really made an abusive relationship seem like something that was romantic, and people were buying it as such. So I can appreciate, if it's a serious situation, it's a bad situation, I'd rather have the reality of it. I enjoy reading things that are believable. Not, don't try to sell me something that I can't swallow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you saying that. And so I really did try to show, what does this look like? What does this scenario look like when it's not romantic? And because it is a reaction to something that I'm seeing in romance. It makes it sound like I hate the romance genre, and that's not true at all. It's just that, just like what you were talking about, where this abusive relationship was really romanticized, I think that that's dangerous for us as a culture, that's the story that we're telling. And what's scary to me is not just that people are writing it, but that people are reading it that way. And the number of people that are very excited about it and want more of it, and that's what's most concerning to me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So obviously you're working on the follow-up to Fallen. What else are you working on right now?
So I also have a side project. It's called Game of Thorns, and it's a series of novellas in which fairy tale princesses are their own villain in the story. And the first one is The Beauty of the Beast. So obviously we're going to be focusing on the story of Beauty and the Beast. And that one, I'm really terrible at deadlines. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I'm awful at deadlines. I try really hard, but I just completely underestimate how long it's going to take me to do something. And so that was supposed to be out in January. It's looking like it's going to be out in June. So I'm sorry, readers who have been just waiting for it. It's
Well, you
coming.
know what? That's still, it's just in time for Rust City. You can bring it along with you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that, yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm really happy with how the story ended up. But I'm in revisions right now. So it's gone through the first round with my editor, and I'm doing my first round of revisions right now.
Mhm. So is that primarily just a retelling, or obviously you like to genre blend, as you said. So what else is melded in there?
So that series, I've kind of coined the term twisted fairy tales.
Mhm.
And that's really the best way of putting it. It's still literary fiction, probably more than anything else. But I'm taking these old fairy tales, and in the US, we've got this trend of thinking that fairy tale equates to happily ever after, that that's what they're supposed to be and that's what their primary purpose is. But a fairy tale originally really used to be more like a fable, where it was meant to teach a moral lesson. And you think about the Grimm fairy tales, and if you know any of the original Grimm fairy tales, they're very dark, they're very gritty. There's a lot of things that people are just appalled to think that they used to tell children these stories going on. And so what I'm doing with that series is sort of a return to this Grimm idea of the fairy tale. And the other thing that I'm sort of playing with, because I can't seem to get away from this idea of cultural narratives and responding to popular trends that I think are not necessarily helping us as a society. I'm responding a little bit to this idea of the strong female character, where it's the female character that, the intent was that she was supposed to be a strong character, but really she goes through no change, no, like you were talking about with the character development. She really does nothing of note. She experiences almost zero character development. And they're these really flat characters that sort of get idolized. And again, for me, the scariest thing is that people are reading these characters and and that they believe that this is a strong character. And and so that's the trend, and that's what we recognize as strong. Again, I can't say it enough. It's just concerning to me.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to show those characters, that archetype or that trope, in a way where we're seeing them for what they are.
Yeah. And to that, I hate to get completely off topic, but sometimes I feel that when we hear from people, those opinions of what they consider a strong character that others don't consider a strong character, I almost feel that it's from lack of experience, for lack of a better phrase. Like, they don't read a whole lot, so they don't have a lot to compare to, or they may just not have a lot of life experience, so they don't know what to compare to. So, sometimes that ties into, and then everyone gets on the bandwagon, so to speak. So just let the right person say this was amazing, and then everyone is saying it's amazing. And that's not always the case.
Yeah, I think that that's absolutely true. And I mean, I can honestly say that I've fallen into that, where, a book trended and I read it. And at the time that I read it, it was different than anything else I'd read before. And I just sort of devoured it. And then I reread some of these books and I really wonder, what was it that I liked so much about it? There's nothing going on here that I enjoyed. And for me, the books that I like the best and the ones that stick with me the longest are the ones that make you feel deeply, but also think deeply. And so my goal is to do that for other people.
Hmm. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to reading that as well, because everything you're saying is just really clicking with me. So I'm like, I've got to read these books, and that's that.
That makes me so happy. That's just one of the highest compliments that people can pay me as a writer. So thank you. And I look forward to your feedback. I can't wait.
Oh,
Please tell me honestly if I hit or missed my mark here.
oh, that's something you never have to worry about from me. I will give it to you honestly. I can't give it any other way. So hope you have thick skin.
Right. Oh, I do.
Okay, good.
Speaking of thick skin, one of my beta readers is my sister, my younger sister. I have to give a little shout out to her. Hi, Christine. Really, all of my betas, you guys make me a better writer. I love you all so much. But Christine in particular, she's just brutal with her feedback. If she doesn't like something or if it's not working, she has no qualms about telling me. We have a running joke, and it keeps making it into my acknowledgments. But there's this running joke that I'm always having to talk myself off the ledge after I've received her feedback for me, because she just, it feels to me like she never has anything positive to say, which isn't true. But she's really harsh in this isn't working.
But you know what, though? I appreciate that about beta readers, the ones that can do it, because, like you said, it makes you a better writer. It makes the story better. And the public at large will love the story more for it. When beta readers can be too soft or too timid to tell the author what they really think, everyone really, loses. It's a lose situation,
Yeah.
So.
The desperate, needy part of me really just wants to be validated and wants everybody to love it and tell me how much they love it. But the part of me that wants to be a really great author recognizes that it's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of being an author, we know there's always writers in the audience or hope to be authors in the audience. Do you have any advice for aspiring writers?
My biggest piece of advice is to just get started and don't quit. It's as simple as that. I mean, most of us, especially aspiring writers, uh, you've got other jobs, you've got your life stuff. It's never going to slow down. It's never going to feel like the right time to get started. And if you don't get started and make the time for it and prioritize it, it's just not going to happen. And um, you have to not quit, because when you get to the middle of the story or the end of the story, that initial enthusiasm has sort of worn off and it gets really difficult, and you just have to sort of muscle through some of that. And I can't remember who said it. I have a friend who quotes him all the time, but he says writing a book isn't about writing, it's about finishing. And that's actually, I would think that that's true. There's so many people that start and never finish. And so if it's something that's important to you, just do it and don't quit.
That's great advice. As I told you the other day, I have one I started and didn't finish. But you know what, though? I guess I didn't feel as passionate about it as I should have in order to finish, huh?
Don't shit on yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
one of those things, like if you decide that it's important to you, you'll go back to it, and if you decide that it's not important to you, you'll be okay just sort of letting it go.
Yeah.
And for me, I had a burning desire to be a writer ever since I was a little girl. I mean, I used to write little short stories. Like, it was always very age appropriate, so when I was in grade school, I was writing books for like grade school age children, but I had a whole series of stories, and that was always my goal and my dream. And somewhere as I aged, I lost sight of that and decided finally, now after finishing school and being in the working force, that what I really want to do is write. And so that's what I was going to do.
All right, you go, girl. That's what I'm saying. So, as we all know, writers love to read, and usually they're reading a lot, just like us book nerds. So, tell us what you're reading right now, what you're enjoying right now.
Oh my gosh. I wish that I could say I was reading something right now. I have been on a writing bender, and I do go on both. I go on reading benders and I go on writing benders. I'm the person that won't start a book unless I can finish it in one sitting, because I get physically angry and upset if I have to stop reading in the middle and I wanted to keep going. It doesn't matter. I mean, I could have to go to work or something,
Oh, that's
and I'm
funny.
like irritated that I have to go to work and stop reading this book. And I've been on a little bit of a book hangover. I haven't been loving everything I've been reading lately, and so I am searching for something. Some of my favorites, I'll go with that because I'm not reading anything currently. So some of my favorites, I love The Book Thief. It's such a phenomenal book, like just the way that it's written and the story that they tell. That one tops my list. The Five People You Meet in Heaven. What else? I actually really love Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter
Me too.
because of that genre bending and because of
Yeah.
how thorough he was in his like historical research. I just think that what he was doing was so cool.
You don't hear a lot of people bring that book up either.
I know, but
Yeah.
it really was. When I heard the title, I laughed out loud. I thought it was the strangest thing, but then I read the book and I was so impressed. I was very impressed. And now I've only read it the one time. I really hope it's not one that I go back to and then wonder what I liked so much, but I did love it.
Well, I love the book, but I mistakenly saw the movie and regretted it because it was dreadful. It was dreadful, but the book is good.
I did the same thing. I watched the movie and I hated it. And I was so mad because I loved the book so much. I'm not allowed to watch movies that I liked the book. I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. I started watching the TV show before I read the books, and I liked season 1 of the show, and then I binge read all the books that were out, and then season 2 started up and they started changing things, and then season 3 came out and they started changing more things, and I just got angry and I quit on the show.
Yeah, I know that usually happens to me. I feel that way when it's something that's fresh, like I just got finished reading it, so everything that's wrong is just blaring at me. But sometimes if I read it and it's a couple years have passed, I guess I'm more easy on the movie or TV show. But
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I've got some distance, it's easier to be more forgiving. Or if I see the movie before I read the book, I'm a lot more forgiving that direction as well. But my friends just kind of know that if I like the book, it's a bad idea for me to see the movie. I'm not going to be happy with it. They're going to mess it up.
oh, they always do. They
Mm-hmm.
can't help it.
Right.
Okay, fabulous. So is there anything else you want to share before we jump into the 60-second lightning round?
Make sure you friend me on any of your social media poison. Choose your social media poison. I'm on all of them. It's under Roselynn Cannes, Cannes.
I'll link all
And
those below in the notes as well.
oh, good. Yeah, I'll send all those links. And then check out Fallen. Look for Game of Thorns for Belle's story first. And thanks for watching.
All right, so let's jump in. So 60 seconds. I have like a good amount of questions. Let's see how many you can get through. Usually, unless it's a direct question asking for your own answer, if it's an A or B, you can only say A or B. You can't say both or neither. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get going, because that's a cop out when people say I don't know both. Don't do that. Don't do it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll commit. I'll make a decision. I'm committed.
Okay, bet.
All right.
Okay, here we go. So first, physical book or ebooks?
Physical book.
Okay, hero or villain?
A good villain.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Name a book that you've read in one sitting.
Game of Thrones or Thrones. Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm. You read that whole book in one sitting?
The first one, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, beer or wine?
Wine.
Action or thriller?
Thriller.
Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Vampires or werewolves?
Vampires.
What's your favorite place to read?
On the couch at home.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Okay. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Favorite alcoholic mixed drink?
Oh, gin squared. It's gin and ginger ale.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
I want to be a night owl. My schedule doesn't allow for it, but I do want to be a night owl.
Oh, goals.
Finish my books.
Okay. What's your favorite book or series when you were a child?
Oh, as a child?
Mm-hmm.
I loved The Alphabet Murders by Sue Grafton. I was always reading adult books as a kid, and I loved that series.
Awesome. Android or Apple?
Apple. I have an iPhone.
Oh, shame. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I love it.
Name your favorite food.
Mac and cheese.
Okay. I think we're almost time's up. Name two of your favorite authors.
Marcus Zusak, and Cynthia St. Aubin. She's a good friend. I love her so much. Shout
Couple
out.
more. Marvel or DC?
Oh, Marvel, I think. Who are the Avengers?
Marvel.
Marvel, yeah.
Last one that we have time for. Romance or erotica?
Oh, I can't. Neither of those are my genre. Okay. I guess erotica. I guess. I don't know.
I guess. Okay, I'll give you one more to replace that one since it's a neither. Popcorn or chips?
Not popcorn.
All right.
I know you gave me two genres that are like not my favorite genres.
Oh, I know, and it's
like I don't know.
I know. I'm like, well, when I got to that one, I'm like, oh, I don't think she would like either. But I did think that. But
I know, right? It's too late. Yeah, literary fiction would be my number one genre. That's what I want to read more than anything else. So.
That's awesome. Okay, great. So, well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It's been fun.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching. You'll find all of Roselyn's links below, so you can follow her on Twitter, Facebook, check out her blog. Her Amazon link will be below as well. So definitely take a second and download her book off Amazon. I think you can also purchase the paperback copy as well. And until next time, I'll see you guys later, and happy reading. Bye, guys.